Guess what? It's time for your daily message. And today we're going to be using the Mirror Truth Lenormand deck. All right, let's go ahead and get into it. So over here with the heart card, I feel that you are connecting to your greatest joy, your deepest purpose, your passion. If you feel like, I don't know that really resonates, my feel is that this is happening at a very deep core and vibrational level. And what that means is that we really are connecting to that deepest joy, that deepest purpose or passion. But because it's so deep, it hasn't really made its way to the mental space just yet. So we may not mentally realize it, but I feel vibrationally that this is happening, and it will start to make itself known in about 3, 4, at most 8 weeks, depending on the individual person. With the snake card, I feel that if you've been struggling on your path and you've been wondering why, because you thought that you were on your path and that what you've been doing is perfect for you, the reason for the struggle may be that instead of actually being on your path, you've chosen a different one to actually run away from your path. Maybe what you've been doing right now is actually you running away from what you're really meant to do. For example, maybe you're actually meant to work in teams and work with other people and to actually step into a leadership position with them. But every time you've worked in teams, you've shied away from the leadership position, or those teams just haven't really worked out very well for you. They've never really lived up to your expectations of what teams should be. And so you've convinced yourself that, you know what, I think I'm supposed to go out and do things on my own. So you did. You went out and did things on your own, thinking that that was your greatest joy and your greatest passion. But even though maybe you've gotten some results in this particular example, use this as it applies to you in whatever area of life. Maybe even though you've gotten results, it just hasn't really been the level that you expected and thought. And I feel that this is because in pursuing this other path, you've actually been running away from what you're really here to do. You've been shying away from stepping into a leadership position, maybe because you don't feel like you're worthy of it. And it's time for you to start addressing that deeper worthiness, self-worth, within yourself so that you can really step into what you are here to do. And until you do that, I feel that you will always kind of feel deceived by yourself, by spirit, by the situation. You know, when you go off and do your own thing, you know, it worked out, but not really to the level that you thought. When you work in teams, you're like, well, okay, this is what I was supposed to do. Why didn't that work out? It's because you're supposed to step into something else. And until you do that, it's going to feel like you're constantly being deceived. But Spirit is really just trying to help you out, really help you understand yourself and really grow into who you're supposed to be. And again, this can apply into whatever area of your life. Maybe, you know, this doesn't apply to teams and leadership, but rather it applies to relationships. You know, maybe in a relationship example, you have always wanted to be in one, but just haven't really found that person. And so you think, you know what, maybe I'm supposed to be alone, right? Maybe I'm supposed to focus on something else in my life. And maybe you shut down the whole relationship side of your life when that is actually something that you're supposed to have, but maybe in a different way. Maybe you need to address intimacy issues, right? Maybe you don't feel comfortable doing that. You don't feel safe doing that. And if you did, you would have a love that you want. But until then, you're going to kind of feel deceived in relationships as well as outside of them. So this can apply to any area of your life. Whatever that area right now, Spirit is saying that you're kind of stuck and stagnant, but pay attention to the signs, right? If things are working out for you, and it seems a little bit easier, things in life are not always going to be super, super easy, right? Because we're here to grow as spiritual beings and as humans and physical beings as well. And so there's always going to be, you know, a challenge, something to grow into, right? But when you're on your path, things are a lot more fun. Those challenges are fun, they're exciting, and solutions seem to come to us much more quickly than when we're not on our path. We don't sit around stumped for too long when we are on our path. So Spirit is saying, notice the signs. Are things working out for you and relatively easily? Are you getting solutions to your problems pretty quickly? Are people coming in and supporting you in your direction? Are you, happening upon videos or books with that perfect line for exactly the question? It answers a question that you had or gives you the idea that you needed. If not, then listen a little bit more deeply, right? Notice where things are working out and where they are not working out. And if you do that, you will know which direction to go. And once you know which direction to go, you will be able to steer your ship and go with the flow of the ocean and the waves. And connect more deeply to your passion, your purpose, your path, and start noticing it more on the mental level as well. With the child, this is a really good time for you, again, to listen to the signs. I feel like this is speaking a little bit to what we just talked about with the ship, is notice the signs. Just listen to the flow of the universe. Trust yourself a little bit more. Connect more to your creativity. With the letter, I feel like this is a time for you to start journaling or writing down ideas or doing some kind of creative prompts or yeah, any kind of journaling types of work with prompts to really think about things and get words into place, because you may be somebody who thinks very well with words, but maybe you don't feel that way. Maybe you're like, oh, I feel like when I sit down to write something or think about something that I have no ideas, or it just feels like a lot of work. But I feel now is a time for you to invest in writing and journaling and in thinking, because as you do that, it'll become more second nature to you. It'll become a skill that you're a lot more comfortable with. It's a skill that you have, but one that you're not super comfortable with, but one that can be a game changer, right? Because when you can write down your thoughts, that means that you can take what's going on in your head and put it down into something more tangible and a little bit more specified, more crystal clear, right? It's not just this jumble in our heads. We're able to define it more. And when you can do that, well, that's when everything starts to make sense, right? If you're feeling your purpose deep down in your core, but your mind isn't able to pick up on it, writing may help bring that about for you much more clearly. And with the side, Spirit is saying, we're helping you clear out a lot of clutter. There is a lot of clutter, which again, this will help you clear that as well if you start writing things down. But Spirit is saying we're helping you clear out a lot of clutter, because there's a lot of success and abundance for you if we can just clear out the things that are in the way, clear out the paths that maybe you've been following that are really you just running from what you ultimately want, that you don't even tell yourself that you want it anymore because it feels so out of your reach, but it is within your reach. It's really just about working on self-worth. And when you can do that, that's when you know that you're worthy for the things that you really want. That's when you go for the things that you really, really want. And that's when you start moving forward, right? That's when things start getting fun, because then you're really, really on your path. So that was your daily message. I hope it served you, and I will catch you in the next one.